Hi there, this is Alvin, and welcome to the Kickstart Commerce podcast, where we share search marketing and domain investing strategies to help grow your business. In today's episode, our guest is none other than Norman, aka the Beard Guy Farrar, a serial entrepreneur who provides marketing and managed e-commerce solutions for brands. As a leading figure in the Amazon and e-commerce industry, Norman has worked with an impressive list of Fortune 500 companies such as Coca-Cola and 20th Century Fox. Today, Norman and I dive deep into discussing his passion and love in the challenge of a good startup. We discuss his failure to realize the value of domain names in the early years of the internet, how an addiction business led to domain investment and development, why brand development requires a top-notch domain. He also shares the insightful case studies of Soap.Club and a few other projects. And last but not least, Norman leaves us with practical steps to launching an affiliate website during economic downturn. So, with that, Norman, welcome, and thank you for making time to join us today.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Certainly. And so to help kind of fill in a bit of the details of how Norman and I crossed paths, we actually crossed paths a few years back while both attending as well as presenting at the Merge Conference, which was held in Orlando, Florida. So it's been a few years since then. But to kick things off, Norman, share briefly with the listeners a bit about yourself, who you are, your personal and professional background.
Sure. Like you were saying, I guess I'm a bit of a mutt when it comes to businesses because I've been involved with a variety of different businesses, from manufacturing to fulfillment, specialty packaging, even a tech hub at one point. And I guess it all kind of came together with the beauty of Amazon. And I was able to kind of put everything together to start to build successful Amazon businesses.
Awesome. So then take us back, I guess, in terms of, how did you get involved in terms of like domain investing and just domain names in general?
Oh man, this goes way back, way back. You know, the Wayback Machine, that if you go in there, that doesn't go that far back.
The archive.
I I remember when domains were free. It was a free for all, and I got into it when I had a company that was working for a Fortune 500 company, and they had asked me to put together a dealer incentive program where they wanted to put their logo onto pens and keychains, coffee mugs, stuff like that. And they asked me, can you build a website? And not knowing anything about internet marketing, I said, of course I can. And so I took it on, and that's when the domain business started. I think I was probably one of the few that were on the internet doing anything other than, actually doing e-commerce. I had a company called Angelfish Marketing at the time, so we owned angelfish.com. But then we started to do print on demand. We were outsourcing to India, and we had a really great workflow. Everything was perfect, and we just started to build out from there. But what we didn't realize, and kick myself, and maybe kick myself a bit more, the power of a domain, the equity in a domain. And we had so many opportunities as well as so many incredible domains that I just let go. And if I had them today, oh my gosh, I just wish I could have had that crystal ball back then.
So what type of names are we talking?
Oh man, I believe it or not, I even had some high level, big big brand names where I thought, I'll just go out and buy them. So when I got out of the promotions side of the business, so that was Angelfish, not a big deal, but it was a nice little name. I got into the addiction side of things, and I had, you name it. I had 1,300 domain names, I believe, all addiction based. And it went from LA addiction. I don't think I had the .coms, but I had the .nets. I had the .orgs. I had a bunch of .coms, but they were either recovery or rehab or what was the other one that was really popular? But anyways, I had it for detox, like detox rehab, um, sober rehab, sober living, just a variety of different addiction domains. I still have a bunch, but most of them, I would say about 1,100, I just let go.
Wow.
Right? Really stupid.
So then how did you get into the addiction business?
Well, I was on the other side of a fence for a little while.
Ah,
So I was heavy into business, and that resulted in a going out sales, a little bit too much partying, I would say. And I went through. I saw, what the addiction rehabs and consulting and like the whole industry was doing for other people, and what it did for me, and what it did for a whole bunch of other people that were in the program at the same time. And I said, man, this is a way to give back. And so started there and started to build up, just by buying and buying and buying and buying all these domain names.
now did you develop those names or were they, redirects?
No, these are all I just picked them up. They weren't there. Like nobody was buying them.
Oh wow.
Like I'm talking, yet nobody had bought them, like cocaine addiction, stuff like this. I mean, they were just, and especially, you know, one of the things I was able to see when I was in the program, what I was able to see, like, oh wow, there's sex addiction, there's gambling addiction, there's all these other addictions, and nobody was thinking about it. They weren't thinking about dual diagnosis. They weren't thinking about pain management. They weren't thinking about, you know, different things that the average, I think at that point, that was the start of domain brokers. They really weren't thinking about that side of it. So when I look at keywords, when I'm doing research, I'm trying to go really wide. And even at that point, okay, everybody's going to target these ones, but what can I do and go kind of wide on them? Now, I've got to admit, I hate to admit this, but I did have a lot of hyphenated words. I did like have a ton of hyphenated words, but they worked at the time because Google didn't put up their first update yet. I mean, it was the Wild West back then. Content was always good. We could always, play around. There was lots of links going back. I mean, like
Right.
back in the 90s, way back, you could do anything.
Yeah.
Literally, you could do anything and get ranked. We were ranked everywhere. I remember getting a call from this Thai rehab, really ticked off at me because, I was number one and they couldn't get number one for Thai addiction, Thai rehab, Thai this, Thai that. And, we were in Hawaii at the time. So yeah, I had a few enemies out there.
So that's interesting. So you're holding most of these domains.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought you would have said something like, "Oh yeah, we redirected them, we used them on
Mm.
billboards, to basically be able to at least track or measure the return on investment from advertising." But I guess at that point in time, like you said, you really, because you own the land so to say, I guess you really didn't have to necessarily rely on PPC.
Right. We had created almost like if you take a look at a typical click funnel layout right now. I mean, that's what we had done, and we'd done it. I don't know how many, but we would have a little clip on. Um, I'm going to pick on Thai, so Thai rehabs, and we put a little, a couple shots in of Thailand, and we'd have a bit of copy about Thailand, but it was all pointing to Hawaii, and then we'd have a PDF that they could have. So there was an attachment that they could download, which all pointed to what we were selling. And there was a video. So there was a custom video that we did. And it did look, for the time, it was, it was well advanced.
Awesome. And so then how long did you operate this business?
I was there for about 5 years.
So there for about 5 years, and I guess like in terms of like revenue, or how big was the company in terms of employees, revenue, so forth, reach.
I thought we could do a lot more. The revenue wasn't, it was in the seven figures. But what we had, I thought we could have easily got into the eight figures. but it has lots of opportunity. It was a holistic center. It was the first center of its kind that it was the first center that offered dolphin assisted psychotherapy. We worked with a lot of holistic naturopaths. I think we had in total probably around 15 clinicians and people. I don't know. I'd probably say we probably had 25 people that were working for us. Um, yeah, at the time. So we had a clinic, we had the one center, we had another sober living center, and then we were trying to build out an executive center as I left.
And so then in terms of that transition, so I guess why did you leave there, or what was the next stop?
It was time to move on. I wanted to open up something else. I was looking at, it was unfortunate. I was trying to do this really cool um, wellness type application where families could go. A lot of the times when when you're battling an addiction, you're on your own. And I wanted to be able to bring families in and have the families go out and have really kind of cool excursions. And anyways, it just didn't catch on. It was on its, I think it was a little bit before its time. But then, I mean, that led me to come back and start playing around with, a couple of new ventures. And, another door opened and got into some really cool e-commerce opportunities.
And now, when you say e-commerce, now I mean, most people think today. Everybody starts thinking either Shopify, Evolution, BigCommerce, or all of these bigger known names. So, what was e-commerce, or how was it defined back then?
Well, now we're in the 2000s now, right? So I was, I think most of my e-commerce platforms were on WordPress, and I was using what is it? WooCommerce. That was the main platform that I was using for anything I was doing there. Um, and we were also developing some really kind of cool technology with. I had a small Tampa-based tech incubator, and it was pretty cool. We were trying to skin the anything to do with Outlook, Microsoft Outlook.
Yeah.
It was you could be a fan, so it's kind of like what's happening today, where you could go and you could like let's say Allen Iverson, or if you liked a brand, we were kind
Oh
of
yeah, like a
developing this
official
really
fan
cool.
site.
Yeah, but it was on steroids, and there's nothing like it even today. So, like to give you an example, athlete could be playing like we see the game. After the game, he goes and texts the fan that gets it receives the text on the screen. There's all the information about the team, the statistics, the athlete, custom audio or custom streams that were coming in. Uh, there was clothing and merchandising. Matter of fact, we tested this out with the show Friends. We just did it as an example. But while the show was running, you could take your mouse and click on, Chandler's Best, and that would go to LL Bean, and it was interactive, like back then. And
Wow.
you're not even seeing that right now. So that was really cool. Nothing ever happened. It kind of just died a slow death. We hit the tech bubble and everything just died for me. So I had to kind of go back and reinvent myself.
And so, how did you go about doing that in terms of reinventing yourself?
After I got up, from the fetal position, and then fell down again and got up, I just started to explore, and things kind of fell my way. I believe because there was there's a bunch of stuff going on in between some of these companies, but I believe the first thing I got involved with was with my brother going to China and opening up a contract manufacturing company. And we were over it was in China, it was Taiwan. So Taiwan, we opened up two companies and we started doing contract manufacturing way before there was the big hype. And that went extremely well. We were involved with wood handled stamps, arts and crafts. We did a like a bunch of little trinkets, that just kind of piled up. And then we bought a plastic extrusion company and got into uh, ink pads. And this was kind of cool. Plastic uh, makeup containers for Yves Saint Laurent, Chanel, and the company already had the contract. So it was just kind of cool having that contract. Um, After that, came back and just got into e-com and started looking at a variety of different e-commerce sites, getting into the pet market, getting into the beauty market. Um, yeah, and just kind of giving her.
Wow. So when did you realize that you kind of had, something of a Midas touch for e-commerce and, just affiliate
I wouldn't
websites?
call it Midas. I would say that bronze, a bronze touch would be really quite nice. Because you know what, I have had some great successes, but I've been kicked in the legs a few times. Like just today, I got like I'm sitting here and PayPal decides they're going to suspend my account. So what do you do with that? I do have other accounts that I can pay with, but anything that's going in or going out now is locked. Try to call PayPal today. Try it. You know, and this is a small rant, but this is about the industry we're in.
Right.
What's happening right now, I think is giving people an excuse to cheapen their customer service. And it should be going up, not down. And you
Correct.
talk to anybody, if you're setting up a business right now, or if you're in business and you're having a problem with something, you should be able to reach somebody and, get that support. Now, if people, I know people, I mean, it's really tough to answer a phone. Okay. I'm an old guy. I answer phones, but, email, people are just like, you go to online chat, you go to the new messenger bots, right? And what's the most frustrating thing there? It's a messenger bot. And try a lot of the times to get to a person, and they keep giving you the wrong information. So this is something that I think that if anybody is going to go out there and try to do anything with ecom, it's all about communication. And if people can't get a hold of you, well, they're going to go to somebody that can. And unfortunately, like people like PayPal, I wish I could just delete and just go to the next one.
And like you said, because of the size of a PayPal, it that makes it quite challenging just to turn the faucet off.
Well, yeah, and the whole industry. I'm not a huge domain broker. I'm not. I've got a bunch of domains. I've got some really good domains. I love developing businesses. I love from the get go to develop businesses and getting into partnerships and seeing something really grow. But what I like the best about being an entrepreneur is I have that ability to turn on a bloody dime where other people, PayPal, they have to take forever to do something or forever to make a decision. Even Amazon. I mean, I do I do a lot on Amazon. I like working with a ton of different clients on Amazon, and the stupidity that you go through to with their customer service. I mean, they should be ashamed. Anybody involved with working with the company knows that when you go and you call Amazon 10 times, you'll get 10 different answers. And 9 out of the 10 are wrong. It's common, that the training's not there. Well, these are the types of companies that should have excellent training, especially for the low level questions that they just seem to not get it right. But they're growing so fast, I guess, that they can't have quality people in. But when you do get a quality person, I mean, it's like going to heaven.
Exactly. Exactly. And so in terms of Amazon, and it's interesting because you bring it up because just here recently in last couple of weeks, it looks or appears to be that Amazon has sliced its affiliate income. And so obviously you've spent a number of years just working likely with Amazon or folks that are doing or have some sort of involvement with Amazon. And so what do you make of that in terms of one, in terms of the space that we find ourselves in COVID, and everyone essentially moving online to order, you know, everything from A to Z. So obviously, I look at that and I go, one, Amazon stock is going through the roofs as well as revenue and likely profits. But at the same time, you know, folks who are driving traffic to Amazon, like, what do you make of just this whole recent thing of sliced or reduced commissions?
Stop it. Okay, the affiliate network now, I mean, Amazon's a big beast. I would not be big on, and there's, you know what, you're probably some people there that are making tons of money with Amazon, being an Amazon affiliate, and that's fine. Go ahead. But when they decided that they were going to chop down the affiliate rate, what are they going to do next? You know, and then what are they going to do after that?
Yeah,
What I'm
it'll likely
finding is,
evaporate.
yeah, like I would much rather go in and, I mean, this is just, you know, off the cuff, but I'd much rather do something like free plus shipping, you know, and go in, check out something, you know, you could easily go to Alibaba or get a sourcing agent, but find, you know, something overseas and do a free plus shipping. And then that way, you know, you test the waters a bit and see what's a winner, and you're building your business. I mean, yes, affiliate businesses are great, and there's lots of ways to earn income on it, and there's some incredible, really incredible affiliate people out there. um, but I'm just talking about that person just starting out. This is something that I don't know. I'd be more inclined to go with either a drop shipping model, or even if you've got the right product at the right price point, there's nothing wrong with trying to open up your own e-commerce site. But if you do have uh, platforms like the eBays of the world, Etsy's, Wish, Amazon's, Walmart's, those is captivated audience right there. And Amazon, I got to admit, it's still the largest search platform in the world for buying anything. So you've got that platform there, but I wouldn't make it. I would really try not to make it my number one source of income, because you
Gotcha.
don't know. Like I can tell you another thing. I sell soap, right? I sell soap. I thought everything was kosher. Well, Amazon being Amazon decided, hey, oh my gosh, I can't, no, the algorithm, if it picked up the word hemp, you're done. And I have
Oh,
hemp oil in my soaps. Well, guess what happened? You know, then it's like, oh my gosh, now, and I've had this, the same thing with toe wart remover. Okay. It sounds sexy. So toe wart remover, there is an active ingredient in toe wart remover that's perfectly safe at 1% level. Okay. Or 2% level. We have it at 1. We get the momentum going with Amazon, and then all of a sudden, guess what happens? Oh, there's a hazmat issue. We explain full plan of action. You know, everything's cool. We get it reinstated. Just start to get it going again. Guess what? Hazmat. Same thing a third time. It killed the listing. It went from it was ranging between 68 and $120,000 a month at great profit, like a really great profit. And now, because of Amazon, if we get $1,700 a month in it, we're lucky. And the reason why, like, probably somebody's saying, "Well, it must be a crappy product," or Why did it drop so much?" Every time that you are removed, or if you run out of inventory, it's almost double the time and energy you need to put back into it. So what took us, it was nothing to get it ranked, and it was an organic listing and people loved it. It was a great product, and it is a great product. It was pulled 3 times very quickly, and now to get it back up there, we've got to spend so much money to get it ranked that it's just not worth it for them to pull it again, because we don't know if they're going to pull it. Really stupid. There's nothing we can do, you know. Matter of fact, I don't know if you've heard of the Dear John letter, but there was, and I don't know if it was Steve or not, but there's a person out there, Steve Simonson. He's got an Amazon co-op called Empowery, and he provided a Dear John letter. And from what I understand, Amazon is putting this up in lunchrooms because it's, hey, look, guys, we're not doing that great of a job. This is where we're missing the ball. All these people that are writing these Dear John letters, and they're talking to people about, or this is how we're affecting them. This is how we're affecting their families. This is, you know, when you're working with Amazon right now, we're talking about, it used to be a hobby. Now people are selling their houses to, invest in something, selling their trucks to, invest in inventory. You shouldn't do that, by the way, but they're doing it and it's a main source of income. And then they find out, oh, it's not that easy.
Interesting. So you hit on an interesting point there in terms of because obviously where we find ourselves at in COVID, and the numbers are growing on a weekly basis to the tune of some odd, I believe 36 million people. The last I had known the count to be for unemployment, and so you likely have folks. I know in terms of this audience, you likely have domain investors and developers that are sitting there. Some may have been part time, full time. I would imagine those who are part time that certainly lost their full time employment or primary source of income. They're likely having to find another way to make ends meet. And so, in terms of being able to look at their domain portfolios and figure out what is the next step, I mean, I think the choice becomes, do I renew the domains or do I develop them? How would you, or what would be your guidance for, being able to assess whether or not a domain is, one, worthy of development, and two, an actual business?
If I took a look at my portfolio, uh, if it, and it depends on your situation. If you were looking at, okay, how do I thin it out because I'm stretched for cash? That's one thing. I would get rid of the low hanging fruit. But if you've got a nice valuation, on a domain, like, why get rid of it? I mean, you've paid the money, it's there. The biggest question is, like for me, I try to put my domains into play, try to develop them. Yeah, they can sit there, that's one thing. But for me, like with a bunch, and like a few of the sites that I have, but we just, I try to do what I can with it to make it a valuable site. I grow my domains into brands, and I develop a brand. Once I develop a brand, I develop it just by itself has equity. So, I mean, that's one of the things when I'm looking at any domains right now. I'm looking at brand, and the domain for me, like I'll look at domain different, all different domains, but I like building out communities, and I like building out recurring income coming in. So, it could be like a 30-day subscription, like soap. Okay, so Soap.Club. People use soap. It could be a supplement club. It could be, whatever it is. But if you could build equity onto the name and build a community through that, then you're building, one heck of a customer base. So I'm building out something right now, cigar.club, and it's 100% content. It's all about content. I want anybody who smokes a cigar, smokes a cigarette, stop smoking cigarettes, but smoking cigarette or cigars, I want them to know everything. We're not selling a product on there yet, but we're building up the community. We want Google to love us, and we're building the equity that way. People are going to come, they're going to join, they're going to have the part of the subscription, and then when we do start selling, we'll be able to do something with it. So equity is everything for me, brand is everything for me, community is everything for me. Now, I think I went long-winded the wrong way. um, if I was out there right now, there's a ton of opportunity. There's a ton of opportunity for us. The door is open. There's so much. People are. I can tell you on Amazon and other e-commerce sites that a lot of our clients are up. We see sales that we don't normally see in fourth quarter, and we're getting them now. Our typical client is up about 80% on their regular sales. 80% right now. What's this telling me? People are sitting there. Everybody knows this. They're sitting in front of their TVs. They're sitting in front of their computers. They're buying, and they're buying anything. They're buying their groceries. They're buying whatever. If you can tie into a service, or if you can figure out, what people need right now. I mean, forget the masks, forget the hand sanitizers. I mean, we know that. But beyond that, what do they need? Well, one of the things I joke about is, well, you better get into the baby category, because there's a lot of time spent together, maybe too much time. But, if you're getting into clothing, that's really tough. But if you're getting into some other things, that could be something that you could look at. But e-com, I can't think of a better industry right now to be in.
Interesting. So, and you hit a point there in terms of like I've heard you say Soap.Club, I've heard you say Cigars.Club. So I know that most domain investors are probably going to say, well, why did he build on a dot club? Why didn't he just choose another dot com?
Well, I don't have to say this to this group, but I preach this when I talk to people that are building brands. Come up with an idea for a name, come up with the brand, and then go and try to find it, right? We all go do our research, we all come back and we try to find, okay, let's check this out. And I'll go through 100 names. Every misspelling is there. And why buy a misspelling? I want to make it really simple. Okay, really simple. What's the best way to do it? You can't do it with a .com right now. I mean, those people that have got the names, when it was back in the day when you could, great. If you can play off of a name, great. But misspellings, hyphens, too long, I don't want any of that. I don't want to be creative with the name. I want people to get it the first time around. So if I go and take a look at the stores, the dot clubs, just I like the dot clubs the best, because for me, I'm doing one thing and I'm targeting one area, and that's building a community. So if I'm building a soap community, if I'm building a Dead Sea mud community, or if I'm building, whatever it is, a cigar community. Hey, everybody knows if they're going to type in cigar.club, what's going to happen? They're interested in cigars. Also, how easy is it to get ranked on Google for cigar.club? It's a lot more easier, than other combinations. I think, like, I know with Soap.Club, we were able to get on page one very, very quickly, and I'm expecting to do the same thing with Cigar.Club. But it's just, people know exactly what it is. It's a community, and it could be a store, it could be just a hangout, it could be reviews on your top cigars, it could be a podcast that you tie in to see your top celebrities talking about cigars. It could just be a chat like we're having right now, but it's a full community about cigars, and that's what I love. It's a club.
Interesting. So, so based upon the fact, so what I hear is based upon the fact of community, you you somewhat, I guess, sought the match of dot club, or knowing that anytime someone hears club, they likely think community, they likely think membership of some sort. So that's actually insightful. Now, in terms of how long it's taken to build out, the soap.club and as well as cigars.club, obviously time is of the essence in terms of those who may have lost their job. Like, what type of timeline or runway are we dealing with in terms of I go and pick out a name, I start developing content? What are we looking at? Are we looking at something like, oh, it's going to take 3 years to get to possibly a product? Or is it, hey, you could likely sit down crank out 50 articles that are, truly value add articles, that then either get you to do some sort of drop shipping or even some sort of, off-site affiliate or even an on-site affiliate. So like, what are we, looking at? And
Well,
obviously everything is, everything is different.
yeah, when I'm talking on the Amazon world, I can absolutely tell you that by using press releases and rebates, that you can rank very quickly. Now you go to the e-com world and you want to buy something and you're trying to get recognition, get ranked, getting indexed. It's a little bit different. I'm expecting, like, come back and talk to me next month or 2 months. I'll tell you about, I'll give you a case study on .club or cigar.club. And oh, by the way, I should mention this, is that getting a generic name could give you a problem with trademarking, like cigar.club did. So what you can do is you can create like Norm's Cigar Club, Norm's, Soap.Club, whatever it is, and you just mask it. So you get the, you get the benefits of having a really great name, and you have Norm's Cigar Club or whatever it's going to be. So anyways, now to get started, yeah, it's content. I think that by providing good quality content, by taking that content and making sure it's distributed properly, by creating press releases, and not only press releases, but traditional form of press releases where you can go on and get a $49 press release, or some sort of horrible press release, free. Okay, or $29, and you end up getting all the junk links. You get 1,000 horrible links from small town USA. Well, that's going to hurt you. If you use a press release that goes out and gets the CNNs or the Washington Post or Miami Herald, and you have solid links, that's going to be a lot better for you. The other thing is being able to tie in press releases and content, and doing, like, you've got to hit, I call it the blitz, right? Whenever we're looking at building out websites now, we do a traffic blitz, and that could be from social media. So whenever we're doing, this is what we do. We'll create a blog. That blog article is going to be 1,500 words or more, high quality, written by somebody that's native English speaking. Then I publish that. I write the press release. I make it a newsworthy press release about what the article is going to be about, and I link it. Then I usually do a video press release. So I'll take the video, I'll embed the video, or I'll embed the video into the blog article, which gives it authority. During this time, I'll also do just small videos, 30-second to a minute long videos, which I can also embed from YouTube into pretty much any reputable press release company. So I'll give you an example. Selling dog treats. Okay. So the title would be natural, organic, grass-fed bully sticks, proven healthy nutritional snack for pets, some or elderly pets. In there, I would have the video that would be done in the press release, and you have the full body, you have all your contact information, and I would have an embedded YouTube video saying, 5 healthy reasons why elderly dogs, need bully sticks. Then the press release would be linked over to the blog of the same name. So you've got a reference, because people, their press releases are dry. Nobody's going to read them. Don't expect a lot of traffic. You're looking at them for the links. But if they do read it and you've got the YouTube video in there, then you've got them and they're looking at it, and you'll get a bit more. They're going to engage with you probably, a bit more. But if you get them over to your post, if you're ranked properly, and it gets over to your post, now you've got the authority. That's what it is with a brand. You need authority and trust. If people launch a micro brand, and micro-brand, like if it's a non-recognized name, nobody knows you. So you have to build trust. If you're typing in, wildlife pets, nobody knows that name. But if they see that, there's 10 articles about it and it's on NBC and it's on ABC and it's here and there and it's, it looks like it's a bricks and mortar company, people are going to trust you. So, and that's really important. Like, I can't stress this enough that if you're launching something, as for a press release, here's some results that will blow you away. We did. I was on a podcast, and the night before, I put out a press release. And then this could be today. I can prove it to you tomorrow. So if we wanted to book back and talk about this tomorrow, I could give you the exact results. So press release goes out within 24 to, and this was 24 hours, but in 24 to 72 hours, the title had ranked 200 and somewhat, I think it was 230-ish times on Google, 179 on page one, and 131 number one keyword ranking for that press release. Now, some of the combinations were absolutely horrible. Some were good. And by doing this and building it up every month, well, guess what? At least this brand just dominates everywhere.
Interesting. So, if in terms of let's say that there's a domain investor out there,
Yep.
they have a portfolio of domains, let's say a couple hundred or even 1,000, that
Yep.
they have a brand name for their domain company. Let's just say something like rocketnames.com or jumbonames.com, and they wanted to take this same concept and actually write press releases or put press releases out about either a giving domain that they're selling or a portfolio of domains that they're selling. Could what you just discussed work?
Sure. There's actually if you create press releases, um eh, we in our company, we it's basically amplified. So you just take everything and you amplify it. So you repurpose everything, you put it onto your social media, you constantly queue it up and just repurpose it again and again and again. And yeah, that can absolutely work, especially if you go with a high quality traditional press release. And those typically run, they could be $700. They could range from $400 to $1,500, but 700, if you're paying that, you're getting a really high quality press release that is going into trade magazines, is going in, or it's targeting journalists through Harrow. It's probably got some influencers or bloggers. It probably can geo-target certain areas, and that's something. So if you're a domain broker, yeah, you've got your portfolio, and let's say that you're targeting specific areas. Okay, so for me, LA addiction, Los Angeles addiction, Orange County addiction, whatever it is, I can geo-target communities, usually 350,000 or less, and it's incredible what you can do with one simple press release. And it doesn't even have to be that $750 version. It could be a $200 press release going out, and you would lock down just a ton of keywords for that geo-targeted area.
Interesting. So I could go like a GeoCity plus, let's just say it was something like austinhealth.com or ATX Health. And let's just say I use the greater metro, so the other 6 or 7 cities around there, for a couple of names, right? That were all in that city plus health.com. And then basically spun uh, a press release out, to basically reach one, I guess, possible folks within that health or medical industry, to possibly get them to purchase that given domain. Now, obviously, we aren't saying, hey, we're going to take these names and put them out there for thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. But for for the cost of one press release, I mean, you could probably flip two or three of those domains pretty quick by using a press release versus you having to go out and actually, beat the bush one by one to let someone know that, hey, these are out there and available.
Yeah, you can definitely use it for something like that. That's true.
So you've been using the PR strategy then to ultimately drive. Now, is that something that you do pretty consistent to be able to drive traffic to sites that you've developed?
I have been using press releases forever, and I've used them more with launch and rank strategies for Amazon. Uh, I lo- Again, I use uh, rebates plus press releases, and that helps products launch on Amazon. But to build a brand, yes, I've constantly done it. I've constantly used since 2013, I think, video press releases. And I mean, it got to a point where, and I don't like to, I'm really stingy. Anybody who knows me, I'm very stingy. Um, I don't like to spend money, but I ended up buying a press release company because of that, you
Oh,
know?
wow.
Yeah. So now we've turned that into like a press release company was missing something. They missed the content angle.
Mm,
You need content to play. So we've become a content marketing company. Um, as well as a more of an influencer lifestyle photography company because everybody wants social proof of what they're doing, right? So it might not apply to domain brokers, but it applies to people who want people to see that people are using their product. So we've kind of put those three things together, and yeah, it's great. We're also doing a lot of vlog work, because we could also tie in. People don't want to read. I guess it's just my generation. I don't know. I'm getting old. Um, so vlogs, just get a vlog, and people love that. They stay on your page a lot longer. And that's sort of tied into what we're doing. So we've got those different areas in the company that I think are a little bit different than most people.
gotcha. So really, then it's a matter of so somebody could actually sit down and say, okay, hey, I have this given domain name. Um, I'm gonna sit down, likely spin up a WordPress or whatever WooCommerce website. Um, Sit down, write, let's say 5 to 10 articles, get a press release, send it all out. I mean, that could probably be done well within a week.
Oh yeah, you could. For us, what we're doing right now with Cigar is that we're building up a lot of content, really high quality content. We're going to get that up, and then we're just going to regularly put it out. And then once it's published, we'll be writing different, knowing that we're going to write certain articles, we'll be targeting them with press releases.
Gotcha. And then now, what's in terms of a not enough or too much? Like, what are your guidelines in terms of someone going? You know what? I think I'm going to actually use this to develop a site and get it out there, as well as the domain investors going, man, I've got these portfolio or this portfolio of domains that maybe I can send a press release every week. Yeah. So, what's too much? What's not enough?
It really depends on that domain, your market, the competitiveness of the market, and what you're trying to get out of it. So if let's say we were selling Dead Sea Mud or Dead Sea Mud products, and you had, I don't know, some name, Dead Sea Mud Club, Dead Sea Mud.com, whatever it is, and you wanted to drive traffic, there's so much information you can do on that industry, on that niche. And it wouldn't take a lot to start driving traffic over there. So what's nice about it, you're also building up a lot of authority links as well. So you're building up a quality, like a quality site. And why not start building a customer list? Create a PDF and offer it on your site. Or you've got sites like paper.ly that you can do a simple newsletter in, wow, 5 minutes, and people are blown away. And if you're sharing really good quality content, well, they're going to read it and they're going to want more. But if you're trying to sell something to them all the time, and they're not going to, pick it up. But that's, my buddy Wilfred. You met him at Merge, and
Right.
he is a guru for engagement. He is the guru when it comes to engagement. And what he always says is you always have to be engaged before you get married. And it's so true. You can drive
Oh,
traffic
that's
and
good.
drive traffic, right? But if you're constantly asking for something, then they're going to drop off.
And that makes total sense. And so, to a certain extent, or to to make it make sense for those domain investors that are likely listening to this, it's one of those things of going, I want to educate folks first before I attempt to try to make the sale. And because it brings out the humanity, if you will, of me going, it's not just about give me your money or exchange, give me your money and that's that. It's like, no, I actually want to develop a relationship with you. I want to uh you to feel that you're getting the best, part of the deal, as well as, or at least an equal part of the deal. And so you're right, it can't necessarily just be about we're going to push these press releases just so that we can get rid of these domains. It has to be a fit.
Right.
So that's interesting. So then, Norm, I mean, so what are some practical steps that, folks by now are going, okay, what are my first level steps towards, um, launching an affiliate website? I mean, should they go out and look for a domain first? Should they do some research? I mean, where would you begin?
Probably looking at, you know, uh, for again, this is just me. I'm trying to see what I can drive or how I can drive traffic to the site and what I can get. If I'm doing something for on an affiliate level, like if you take a look at what Ernest Epps is doing, I mean, just an incredible system that he's got where he's looking at affiliate commission coming from high end, really high ticket, like $1,500, $2,500 products. So when he starts, you get less, but you get a heck of a paycheck. So he's got his system down. Um, as long
Does
as
he
it's
carry inventory?
with no, that's the beauty of it. And that's the other thing, like, free plus shipping. That's the other model is you don't carry any inventory. As long as you find that if you like going out there and playing around with Facebook ads, which are cheaper right now because of what's happening, but if you like playing around and trying to hone in on your audience and on your audience's interests, man, you can make a killing off of free plus shipping. Like there's a lady out there, I don't know if you know her, but Elena Saris. Oh my gosh, she went off of Amazon. She started doing this model, and I hate saying this, but she's just killing it. And anyways, she's got a she's got she's out there. She's got course on how to do this. I'm not involved with it at all. All I know is what she's doing is working, and what Ernest is doing is working. It's just another model. So one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't be going and selling a $9.99 product. Like if you're free plus shipping, that might work. But if you're going out there and trying to set up an affiliate for $9.99 low ticket dollars, you have to have so much volume. It's a waste of time. Now, if you could take that low or that low dollar product and bundle it so it's either becomes a gift set or it's a three pack or a 5 pack, then that's a different story. But low ticket items, just run. I mean, just run.
Mm.
Don't even think about it because you've got to have so much traffic to pay it off, and it for the most part won't. So as long as you can, as long as there's something that you think's got is competitive, so a heavier search volume that you think you can drive traffic over to that with the content, and I mean if there's something that would interest people, right?
Right.
Content. If it's something like, oh gosh, I had to do this, but toe fungus. I had to write 8 press releases a month about toe fungus. I am the toe fungus expert. You ask me anything about it. And
Wait, Norm. Hold on. Toe fungus?
toe fungus.
Norm, what are you writing about toe fungus, man?
Oh, you want to know about discolored nails? You want to know about, I am your toe fungus guy. Some people know me as the beard guy. I'm the toe fungus guy.
Oh my goodness, man. Toe fungus. I mean, I sit here and I just go, I don't know that I can write probably more than 8 things about toe fungus.
I had to do it for over a year. And the beauty of it, so here's a nice example. When we started this, there was zero sales in 18 months. And so what did we have to do? We had to rebrand the toe fungus. And it was horrible. It was in brown bottles. The bottles were in a package that was powder blue with a yellow foot and warts on it. Ugly, really ugly, right?
Really appealing.
The product was really good. Like it smelled nice and, at least, getting rid of your fungus and smelling it was nice. It was a good product. But we repackaged it. It went from really looking ugly and looking like some sort of, medical thing to wellness. And now we're targeting, people and making sure your toes look pretty. And all of a sudden it went from a $9.99 product to a $23.99 product. And we were hitting it all over the place. So that's something that you could probably target. Now, is it a recurring revenue? We do have repeat customers, but it's just something that you can make it look nice and drive tons of traffic to it. It's unique enough that you can also, other foot products, other nail products. There's so many things that you can build your brand off of with that. So something to think about. Don't sell toe fungus. It's very hard to write about. So toe fungus treatment. Yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to sell toe fungus.
I was about to say, I'm like, you opened the gate on that one. I'm like, if you're out there selling toe fungus, we have a total different issue.
Yeah. That's on the Chinese black market.
Oh man. So then in terms of, because you hit an interesting point of going after higher margin items or higher end items. And so one of the things, at least right now, that it kind of made me think about was, I know that likely is the case. People are looking for, microphones, whether it's for podcasting, or they're looking for video cameras, whether it's for video blogs or even just for web conferencing, meetings. Obviously, you got churches that are out there that are looking for like live stream and video and audio equipment. And those things, when I start thinking about like capture cards, I mean, those things can range from $70 on up into, $300, $400, $500, $600. And so are those the kind of things that, you kind of have to go where the masses are?
Yeah. Or it's a specific niche. So to give you an example, mutters. You know what a mutter is?
No.
A mutter is somebody that likes to be tortured. I mean, these guys are crazy. Sorry if you're a mutter. But anyways, here's a specific niche for soap. Okay, guys, don't come after me with this, okay? I think I have a little bit of, I just want this market. Please don't close it for me. But selling Dead Sea mud to mutters, getting clean with soap or getting clean with mud. You can sell it at a premium. They like it. And, it's just a play, but it's a niche and you can do that. So the beautiful part about it, and now if you're a mutter, please just turn off your mics or turn off your speakers. I don't want you to hear this. But what you can do with niche marketing is you can double, triple, quadruple your price and just make a killing on that market. Now, the reason why you do it is because you might not have the volume, but you can, definitely, if you're doing mutters and then you might be doing golfers and then you might be doing spas, I sell pet soap and my pet soap is pretty expensive, but it's not that different from our soap, our regular soap. That's Not that expensive.
And likely the person that you're targeting also, I would imagine that they have disposable income, but they also likely, I would imagine, probably treat their pets as if they were their kids.
Well, yeah, if you're going after, you've got the pet market, but then you have the luxury pet market, and that's a whole other ball game. And
The
that's a
posh.
beautiful, beautiful market to be in. Yeah, just don't. One of the things that to be aware of, be careful of. I'm in this market, but I can tell you that people love their pets. If you're going to be doing anything with pets, I would not be doing anything that goes either on them or in them. It's if anything comes back and there's a problem, it's going to be on you.
And I was about to say, I mean, that goes as that's probably across the board. I mean, that would
Yeah,
be one of those disclaimers of, hey, don't go after something just to
babies.
turn a quick dollar. Because if it is your site that promotes something that is, even thought to be detrimental, uh, that it was recommended by you, you certainly will be in hot water to say the least.
Right. Yeah.
Norm, in terms of just kind of wrapping up here, um, obviously with the economic downturn, what is your final advice, I guess, to someone looking to start a business or may possibly develop a domain into a brand? Like, you know, where is that very first thing? Yeah, you got 23 steps, but what's the first? I mean, that one thing. If the building's burning down, this is the one thing that you need to go do to start with.
I think the very first thing that any entrepreneur has to think about before anything is how often they like to be kicked between the legs. They have to be resilient. That's number one. Now, if you can get past that, then start doing your research, see what words and what search volume. There's tons of different apps out there that can show you that. Make sure that you're sort of in a mid-range level.
What's your
Um,
favorite?
for me, if I'm in that $49 to $99, that's great. If I can get over that, like we're selling these incredible chef knives right now, and they're in around the 125 mark. So that's great. Lots of margins in there, and people right now are cooking, so we can really build a concept around it. But yeah, if you could get $49 is great. I like it with lots of search volume. If you're looking for yeah, free plus shipping, you're looking, I don't know, Elena, the lady I was talking to you about, she'd probably disagree. Maybe she would. Hopefully she agrees. But I would say that 9.99 to 14.99 is that sweet spot for that. But that's making sure that you've got a product that you found either on AliExpress or um, you might use a sourcing agent that could find it. But anyways, finding that really great product, that is a low volume product, okay? Or sorry, a low price product, but it's a different model. But going forward, that 49 is high search volume or mid range to high search volume. That's where I would go. Um, Amazon affiliate, yeah, you can definitely continue to do that, or you can just try to target it yourself. You can get on Amazon, you can test the waters on Amazon, you can test the waters with your own e-commerce, um, and if you like the challenge, maybe you don't like the challenge, but if you understand Facebook marketing, I know a lot of people that have just cleaned up, not on Amazon, but on Facebook, just just by knowing and understanding their platform and being able to, like, I know this one company in a year and a half grew to 8 figures very easily, made some nice profits um, off of just Facebook advertising. Yeah, so I mean that's the biggest, the hardest obstacle to overcome is what's going to be next. You never know. Like Jeff Bezos might shut down 3PL or yeah, the 3PLs. Oh, okay. If that, I don't think that'll happen, but if he did, all right, good luck. We have to go out and find a new living. But the
Wow.
new living is Shopify or Facebook. I'm not nervous. If I wake up today or tomorrow and, no longer there's any Amazon, there'll be something else in e-commerce. You just keep learning. And that's the other thing. That's my backup. And this is what I would recommend is never stop learning. Like get courses, go to events when we can, go to watch virtual summits or, digital marketer. Yeah, that's a great platform to learn a ton about, digital marketing, of course, but just keep learning. And the more you learn, you're going to be so, you'll be able to conquer anything you want. You just have to become a bit of an expert in it and you can make it, especially in these times. I'm not worried about these times at all. During the Depression, more millionaires were made than any other time. Back in 2008, everybody, when the housing market collapsed, the smart money went out and bought homes. So there's always an opportunity.
So then, last but not least, is there anything else that you'd like to share with listeners?
Yeah, definitely. With what's happening out there right now with COVID, especially by owning a press release company, we were trying to figure out, what can we do without soliciting anything. This is not a solicitation. This is not a lead gen. I know a lot of, e-commerce people will go and offer something, but there's always the lead gen. We're doing this because we want to help the community. If you are a company, an individual, you could be a politician. I'll even talk to politicians, but anybody who's helping, give us a press release and we'll distribute it for free. This is not the network where it's, there's nobody going to see this. This is our network that we distribute all our press releases and, just to give you some exposure. The other thing is if you know of an incredible, amazing person who's doing something like I heard of a 12-year-old kid who was making these surgical masks from 3D printing them, or a friend of mine that was doing a push-up marathon in Miami. I want those. I really do want to help get the word out, and we'll get one of our writers to write either an article or a press release, and then send it out. And it's completely for free. We're not holding any of the email addresses. If you contact us, we're tossing them. They're not being kept. But we just want to be able, we know we can reach hundreds of millions of people. And that's the only thing we can do. That's our strength. We just hope that people take us up on our offer. Any legit company, individual, group trying to help out, it is free.
Well, with that, we're out of time. So, Norbert, I certainly thank you again for joining us today and sharing your entrepreneurial and domain investing and development journey.
It's been a real pleasure to be here.
Certainly. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to Kickstart Commerce, where we share search marketing and domain name strategies to help grow your business. Please subscribe to this podcast via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, or Podbean. And last but not least, please visit kickstartcommerce.com to subscribe to the newsletter sharing tips and tricks about the disciplines of digital strategy. Thanks, and that's all for now.